Do you know how good or bad the Browns' rush defense was last year?
I'm assuming it wasn't great.
We can make that assumption. Let's
Okay.
take a look. This last year, 2018, the rankings, you've got 4.7 yards. The defense gave up almost 5 yards a carry, 20th in the league, 135 yards a game, 28th in the league, and rushing yards, 31st. Well, you always want to be near the top of something.
This is why I never truly bought into Gregg Williams coming back in any capacity. And I tried to explain this to fans over the course of the year. I said, look, you are comparing Gregg Williams as a head coach to what we had, to Hugh Jackson. I said, while he might be coming out favorably here at the end of the year,
right,
that doesn't mean that you got to necessarily hire that guy. And I think the defensive numbers are a big reason why. Maybe if they were losing some of those close games, but the defense was terrific, then you make a case.
Right.
But I don't think you can make a case for Gregg Williams because of that, the way this league is going. And I was so disappointed. That last game of the year against Baltimore, watching that defense get shredded by a gimmick in the first half when everyone knew what the Ravens were going to come into that game and do, and I said, he's done.
Yeah,
he is not coming back.
No team did it. Baltimore did that to everybody once.
Until Tennessee in the Tennessee in the playoff.
Right,
who
but
they play in the
for
game?
5 games they fooled everybody. They won't be fooled this year, I can tell you that.
The shelf life on those things is typically about 1.5 years.
Yeah.
And I know they hired the offensive coordinator who was there with Colin Kaepernick while they were running the gimmick in San Francisco. So we'll see either way.
Gimmick is a gimmick for a reason.
It is.
In the NFL.
I do think that's still going to be short-lived. I agree with you. But I'll tell you, I'm very disappointed in the defense last year, and I'm surprised more Browns fans weren't. Maybe they were thinking, well, they were 0-16 the year before. That was supposed to be the strength of the team coming into the year.
You know what bothered me more?
It was a weakness.
Which Gregg Williams was the real Gregg Williams? I mean, he had a transformation of personality once he got the interim job. So how do you know who's the real guy?
I think he was faking it at some point.
At the end.
Yeah, a little bit towards the end.
Too.
I think he also really never thought that was going to happen.
That what was going to happen?
That he was going to get the head coaching job. Now, I don't know if he thought that
even
Freddie
if he
Kitchens
ran the
could get
table,
it.
he wouldn't have. Oh, he never would have believed Freddie Kitchens would have gotten it.
Right, but if he would have run the table. And even if they would have won that Baltimore game at the end of the year, I still don't think he gets the job.
I think that
well, he would have been, what, 6-2?
Yeah, but I think John Dorsey couldn't have Gregg Williams as his coach. I'm surprised that he has Freddie Kitchens as his coach, but for sure he couldn't have had, just personality-wise.
I'll just tell you this.
And who gets the credit for stuff?
And obviously there's a new defensive coordinator coming in. I think we didn't talk enough about that, our show included, because you saw what happened in the Super Bowl. It wasn't Tom Brady and the offense that won that Super Bowl. It was a defensive scheme to slow down the best offense or one of the best offenses in football. And yet Browns hire a coach and all we did was talk about offense.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about defense, and that's why every priority to me starts and ends with defense. So remember that when you hear about Antonio Brown, Odell Beckham, and now DK Metcalf. When you hear about all these guys, let's talk about the defense.
All right, let's talk about the defense and who potentially the Browns can get on the free agency board. And first it's C.J. Mosley, a linebacker who played with Baltimore, 26 years old, 5 NFL seasons, 105 tackles, and 6 tackles for losses. And you see the stats right there. Let's continue on, see who else is available. Anthony Barr, linebacker, played with Minnesota. He's also 26 years old. Well, you know, these guys are all 26 because that's when the first contracts come up.
Sure. And you always wonder, you know, why the existing team? Is it that they're capped out? Is it that they can't figure out a way to make this work? Or do they not really think they were as valuable as maybe their numbers had indicated?
Here's a guy I don't want under any circumstances. Ready for this? You want him?
I'll tell you, a lot of Browns fans will see that name and say, let's take him. Big name. Let's go get him. But his effort, again, on a great team. They were a great team this year. His effort was questioned throughout the entire season.
No question about it.
What do you think it's going to be now when he gets paid again?
Let's take a look at the last one that we have here. Sheldon Richardson, also from Minnesota. He's 28 years old, 49 tackles, 6 for losses, and 23.5 sacks in his career.
Look, I don't think any of these guys you're breaking the bank for unless if you're looking for a veteran. C.J. Mosley, I think fits the bill more. I know there's been talk in Pittsburgh. They're really high on maybe being able to steal him from a division rival. Justin Houston, about a few hours ago, the word came down from the NFL that he's going to be released from Kansas City. Now, he was injured at the beginning of the year, but nobody doubts his ability to get to the quarterback.
Well,
and
Kansas City, there might be a tie.
I think they have to be able to get to the quarterback. The Browns need to make that a focal point of this offseason.